One important step in simplifying polynomials is combining like terms. Now, like terms are terms with the same variable raised to the same power. So for example, negative 10x and 2x would be like terms. Or 3y squared and 5y squared are like terms, because in both of those we have the same variable raised to the same power. The coefficients do not need to be the same. Another example of like terms would be just two numbers. So 5 and negative 1. Two numbers without variables would be considered like terms. Now when we're combining like terms, that means adding the coefficients of the like terms. So for the negative 10x and 2x that are like terms, we would add negative 10 plus 2 to get negative 8x. For 3y squared and 5y squared, if we were going to combine those like terms, we would add the coefficients 3 plus 5 to get 8y squareds. And to add these numbers that are like terms 5 and negative 1, if we were to combine those, we would get positive 4. Let's do an example. Negative 8y to the third plus 8y squared minus 5y minus 2y to the third plus 4y squared minus 10. Before we combine like terms, we need to do something about this negative. Now that negative is showing that the second polynomial in parentheses is subtracted from the first one. So one thing we could do is I'm going to turn the negative to a negative 1 and distribute it to the terms in the parentheses. If I distribute that, I would get negative 2y to the third minus 4y squared plus 10. So the negative or negative 1 changes the sign of each term in the parentheses. And I'll rewrite the first parentheses. Negative 8y to the third plus 8y squared minus 5y. And now we'll look for and combine like terms. Starting here, we have negative 8y to the third. A term that's like to that has the same variable to the same power, so that would be negative 2y to the third. If we combine those two, we get negative 10y to the third. Next, I see a y squared, 8y squared, and negative 4y squared have the same power. Adding 8 and negative 4, we get positive 4y squared. Next, looking at negative 5y, there are no terms alike to negative 5y because there are no y to the first powers anywhere else. So that would be just negative 5y. And then finally, we have this plus 10. There are no other numbers without variables to combine this with. So this would be plus 10. And negative 10y to the third plus 4y squared minus 5y plus 10 would be our fully simplified answer.